Good morning, children. I hope you have already seen the previous video where I have mentioned about the differences of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, their exclusive power, where Lok Sabha is having more power than the Rajya Sabha. As you people are knowing that Lok Sabha is a public body and Rajya Sabha is an indirectly elected body, and the public body, obviously in our preamble, public is having the power, and Constitution obviously has given the power to the public, where public forms the government, and the government is formed where in Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha, the majority of the party wins, where the head is PM and he forms his council of ministry. This video is in continuation with the previous video, and I'll be discussing more points related to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So let's start with this video now. Okay, so differences between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is, again, I repeat, Lok Sabha, directly elected body, everyone knows, through universal adult franchise, where public come and elect, next dissolve. It can easily dissolve, and again the elections takes place. And how this body can be dissolved? By the no confidence motion. And no confidence motion, always remember, where losing trust in the ministry. And who's going to lose the trust in the ministry? The opposition party. And if the opposition party in the Lok Sabha secured the 2/3 majority of the total number of the seats in the house, then obviously this motion will be passed and the government has to resign, right? The next point, money bill. Lok Sabha is more powerful body. Why? Because money bill is introduced in this house, and money bill is related to the money. Lok Sabha has solely control over this bill. No other house can interfere. And obviously if Rajya Sabha wants to interfere, they can give the recommendation. That too, just 14 days is being given to Rajya Sabha. Otherwise the whole thing is dependent on the Lok Sabha over the money bill. And the perfect example of the money bill is the budget. Next, numerically, strength, the will prevails in the joint sitting. Now, numerically, obviously everyone knows, numerically, Lok Sabha is more powerful body than the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is having the majority, the maximum number of seats, 552, and the effective strength is 545. Right, everyone? So numerically, Lok Sabha is having more power, more number of members are being elected as comparison to the Rajya Sabha. Now, as I have mentioned, the joint sitting of the two houses of the parliament, now joint sittings take place when deadlock situation arises. When in the house, obviously everyone knows about the ordinary bill. Ordinary bill can originate in either house of the parliament. I've already mentioned in my previous video, where ordinary bill can be originated in either house, and if and how much number of days are being given, 6-month time is being given to any of the house, and if 6-month time lapsed and if it takes more time, then definitely there is a situation of deadlock. That means both houses have not approved the ordinary bill. That means who is going to solve the deadlock? The session, the joint session will be addressed by the president, right? And joint sitting of the house will be addressed by the speaker. Clear, everyone? Next, come on to Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, the difference, as I already told you, it is an indirectly elected body where members are coming indirectly from state legislative assembly, and rest 12 members are being nominated by the president, and they belong to the special category, right? They belong to the special sources like literature, science, and arts, right? Next, permanent house. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house where its 1/3 member retired every second year. It is never dissolved, and obviously at the time of dissolution of the Lok Sabha, which house take up the upper hand? This is Rajya Sabha. Done, everyone? And who is the head? Who is the head of the Rajya Sabha? It is the vice president. He is the vice president who is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. And who is the head of the Lok Sabha? The speaker, which is elected among the members of the Lok Sabha. Next, ordinary bill. Ordinary bill can be originated in either house of the parliament, be it Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. Then how come Rajya Sabha control its ministers? Through resolutions, through debates, Rajya Sabha can control its ministers. And in the previous video, I have already mentioned about the motions. Motions, sort of a proposal where member may keep an opinion, where member may raise the question for the ministry, and ministry has to give the answer. Right, everyone? So I hope so the difference is cleared with everyone. What is the main difference between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Lok Sabha is the public body, Rajya Sabha is the indirectly elected body. Done. Now, few things are there, few elections are being conducted in India where Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha play equal role. Right? So, though there are differences, and in the differences now, from till here you people are being clear that in the differences also, which body has taken the upper hand? Lok Sabha, because it is a directly elected body and it has sole control over the money. right? In ordinary bill also it has more power. Why? Because numerically this body is quite high, quite large. Done. Now few things where Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha has to be together, right? In the election they enjoy co-equal power in the elections. At the time of emergency, removal of, if they want to remove the president, in the previous video I've already explained you about the impeachment, where president can be removed and the resolution can be passed in either house of the parliament with the two-third majority approved by the same majority in the other house. Next, judges and in the amendment of the constitution, where constitution changes can take place, this both houses can come together and do such things. Clear, everyone? And obviously both the houses are enjoying the co-equal, both the powers in issuing the emergency, in elections, in removal the judges, and in amending the constitution. So always remember there are differences. So there are elections where Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has to come together, then only these things can be passed. Like in the time of emergency, both house has to come together and pass the emergency, right? Then at the time of elections, then removal of the president, then judges, and obviously when the constitution have the changes, amendment in the constitution has been done, both house may enjoy co-equal power, right? Now come on to next slide now. Next now, the privileges of the MPs. Now MPs, everyone knows, member of the parliament, be it Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. So they have some, constitution has given them the privileges. They have certain priorities over few things where they can have the upper hand, right? Where they have the supremacy. And in whose things they have the supremacy, right? They have the freedom from arrest, they have the freedom from speech, they have the freedom from jury service. And arrest means, suppose some ministers have done something, have found guilty of corruption, right? So at that time the speaker or chairman must be informed why police is arresting the MPs, right? And must not be arrested during the session 40 days before or 40 days after, suppose session is being conducted. And at the time the arrest orders have been issued against the minister, obviously they cannot arrest then and there on the spot. If the session is there, and everyone knows there are three types of sessions: budget session, winter session, and monsoon session. During these sessions they cannot arrest immediately the member of the parliament, not before 40 days of the session, not after 40 days of the session, right? Next, freedom from speech. They can express their opinion and no one can cut them. They are not liable for their speeches. Though if some hate speeches are there, the cases can be registered against them. They should be forbidden by their parties, right? But there is a freedom from speech to the member of the parliament. Next, freedom from jury service. They are not allowed, they are not being forced to act as a witness, in the case, in a criminal case or in any case. They cannot force the MPs to give their verdict, to give their statement, to act as the witness. I hope so people have understood what are the privileges of the member of the parliament. The very first privilege, freedom from arrest. Next, freedom from speech. And next, freedom from jury service. Next, let's come to the motions now. I have already explained different motions when I was doing exclusive power, when I have already mentioned exclusive power of Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha in the previous video, and I have mentioned about related to few motions. Now try to understand what is a motion. A motion is a proposal by a member to express an opinion. Always the members of the parliament can express their opinion, and this is sort of a device where parliament can control its minister, where parliament can exercise control over their executive, because everyone knows parliament is a legislative body and the legislatures can exercise control over their executives. Executive means members. Then the parliament control the executive in many ways, like right of the MPs to question the answer. It can bring the flaws and inefficiency of the government. They can answer. Next, question hour or right of interpellation. Now what is question hour? Question hour, the first hour from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, kept for asking and answering the questions in order to get information from the government on important matters. Like there are three type of questions: stared, unstared, short notice question. The next, 0 hour. After the question hour, MPs may ask any type of question in the 0 hour. Next, adjournment motion, a proposal to suspend the day's agenda and take up the discussion matter of public importance to bring to light the inaction of the government. Next, cut motion, when a resolution is passed to reduce a demand of grant in the budget to show the disapproval of the house, the amount of demand might be reduced. So I hope so all these type of motions are there to control the members. The member may raise a question from the government can express its opinion. This way the house can be conducted. So don't confuse with this. These motions have already been conducted where? In any house, in either house. Basically these motions are there in Lok Sabha. Right, everyone, these motions can be passed in Lok Sabha. Among them, the question hour, this hour is related, this 1 hour is related for asking and answering the questions among the members. Right, the next is 0 hour, it just started after the question hour. Next, adjournment motion, this motion can be suspended. Suppose the parliamentary meeting is being conducted, a normal meeting is being conducted, and suppose something related to public may come, so they have to leave everything then and there, and they have to take up that matter which is related to public importance. This is called adjournment motion. They can suspend for that day. Right, next, cut motion, they can reduce a demand if the budget is being passed, and everyone knows budget is type of a money bill. It can only be originated where? In Lok Sabha. Then, so I hope so people have understood what do you mean by motion, a proposal by a member to express an opinion. I've already mentioned about the motions in the previous video, and this I have already given you in depth. What are motions? Let's move on to another slide. Next, no confidence motion. Right now, just one slide before, I've already explained you about the no confidence motion is being passed where? In Lok Sabha. And no confidence motion is the method, is the best device with the opposition party. This they, if they can use, if they could have secured a 2/3 majority against the main party, the main government, the government has to be dissolved, the government has to resign. So this no confidence motion is a good thing among the opposition party. So what do you mean by no confidence? Losing trust in the main government, in the ministry. So what is this? The Council of Ministers works till it enjoys the confidence of the Lok Sabha. Now, who are Council of Ministers? They are formed under PM in Lok Sabha. If this motion is passed in Lok Sabha, the Council of Ministers has to resign. It is passed by 2/3 majority in Lok Sabha by the opposition party. The House stands dissolved, the fresh elections may take place. Censure motion is an expression of strong disapproval. It is a debatable motion, could be adopted by a majority vote. It does not result in the resignation of the ministers. So always remember, no confidence motion is losing trust in the ministry, right? And it is a motion passed by the opposition party. Clear, everyone? And again, there is another type of a motion, that is censure motion. It is a strong disapproval of the members of the parliament, and if they want to approve something they're not liking, they can pass this motion in the parliament. They can debate on it, and obviously this motion cannot result in the resignation of the ministry. So always remember, no confidence motion is a very good thing for the opposition party if they could have secured 2/3 majority against the main government, against the ministry. The ministry has to dissolve. Right, next, no legislative proposal or a bill. This is bill, as I already explained you, and I've been explaining since the start what is a bill. Bill is a proposal, and there are two types of bill: money bill or a non-money bill. Non-money bill is known as an ordinary bill also, and money bill can only be passed in Lok Sabha. Non-money bill can originate in either house of the parliament. So there are different types of bill. Now, a law in making or a legislative proposal. Basically, a bill is a law, right? And it's only after signature of the president it can become an act. Done, everyone? Now, the government bill, a bill proposed by the government or Council of Ministers, it is known as a government bill. Then a private bill proposed by an ordinary member. Then a money bill, deal with proposal of taxation. Everyone knows ordinary bill do not contain any reference to taxation. It is a non-money bill, right? Dowry Act, Land Acquisition Act. A public bill is concerned with the matters of interest of the general public. So I hope so people have understood there are different types of bill, and basically among in your syllabus there are main two types of bill: money bill and a non-money bill. Right? Non-money bill is also known as ordinary bill, which can originate in either house of the parliament. Right? So the government bill, private bill, money bill, ordinary bill, and a public bill. I hope so people have understood what is a bill. Bill is a form of proposal where discussion may take place, right? Either house of the parliament, and at last it goes for president for assent, for the permission, and after signature of the president it can become an act. So I hope so people have understood till here. Do listen to the video attentively. I'll be sending more videos, right? So before that, try to listen to the previous videos. You will get everything clear. So okay, thank you so much.